Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Rox Box. I'm Dan. Nice to see you all. Hi, Leslie, Lucy, Anne, Andrea, Sarah, Carolyn. Lovely to see you all here. How was our weekend? How are we feeling? I'm still coming down from the massive high of Saturday night with the amazing Karen, and thank all of you so much for being on here and showing a huge support and gratitude to her. It was amazing, really good. So I'm still up like a little kestrel. So before we go on to the formations, I just want to see if anybody wants to add any connections to clear quartz. We ended that on Saturday night. We should have slept with clear quartz. Yesterday we had a day off. Thank you so much. I hope you all had an amazing day. So if anybody wants to tap into how they felt sleeping with clear quartz, please do so we can just tie that up, or just generalize how you felt throughout the whole week of working with clear quartz. If you just want to generalize, summarize that up, that will be great. And then also today is our first day working with a grounding stone. I didn't really want to narrow it down to one stone because I don't know what people have got crystal-wise in their house. So I broadened the horizons and we've gone for a grounding stone. So that's what we're going to be working with this week. And please, hi Kate, and so please, if we can keep to that stone, we can use different types. We can use a sphere, tumble, wand, whatever shape of that stone. But if we could keep it, if you chose black tourmaline, if we can carry on working with black tourmaline throughout the week. If we chose wood, go through that wood. I don't really want us to be hopping in and out of people's beds of different stones. I want us to try and keep it the same stone, but we can use different types, different shaping of those stones. So if any of you connected with a grounding stone today, please, I would love to hear that. And the list is endless, and we can ground, and grounding can mean earthing. It can mean having our feet on the ground. Hi, Belle. But also we've got that calming. We've got that thing that, you know, that stone to hold that can just center us and relax us. So we don't always have to think about the base chakra stones or the earth star chakra stones. We can think of those that we can just like just relaxes us, that just cleanses us, calms us down. That is grounding. That is centering as well. So Andrea, hello, my lover. My final connection was very peaceful. Sleep felt very soothing and restorative. Did today's connection with my petrified wood, bonus points for petrified wood, heart, felt drawn underground and just felt safe and supported deep within the earth. Beautiful, beautiful. And it is nice for you guys that have been working with the clear quartz all of last week, because we're really open. We're really not open as in chakra, but just really cleansed, really connecting with clear quartz, bringing in that. So now we're working on a different energy. We're working with the grounding crystals. So now we'll feel that change in that matter. So thank you so much, Andrea. And petrified wood, love it. Hey, Lucy, I slept with the same crystal I had connected with all week. Brilliant. I had a beautiful experience where I was in a mountain area with a beautiful lake and a wooded area. I was then flying with a golden eagle. It was lovely. It seemed like Canada or the Rocky Mountains. My sleep was better and I felt so chilled yesterday that I just watched documentaries and a film all day. Beautiful. What a beautiful end to an amazing week of connection. Lovely. And yeah, and golden eagle, which is quite funny for me because personally, and this is my own personal interpretation, take what you want from what you've connected with, but for me, golden eagle is that Shiva stone. Although we see the eagles soaring high and we see them up at the sky, we automatically think of a high crystal. We're thinking of the higher sharp crystal, but they started off in their nests. They had to ground first. They had to learn how to work on their hunches and on their feet before they could fly. So grounding there, and Shiva stone comes to me with golden eagle, very supportive, but it's got that ability to ground but also to vortexes up. So we're not just staying down, there is a possibility of vortexing up as well, which is the balance of the golden eagle. Hey Sarah, I felt the whole week was very intense. For me, it was very much reflective, and I've realized there were a lot of working through things and cord cutting. It felt almost like therapy on steroids. Love it, girl. Love the analogy. At the same time, there was a real sense of connection to the higher realms and transformation. But that's what we get, Sarah, with you realizing and reflecting that you need to work through some things and cut those cords. Once we've cut those cords, we are one with us, and we are one with the all that is. No one is keeping us down. No one is pegging us down. We are there. So absolutely brilliant. I know it was intense, but I'm so glad that you persevered. And this is the end goal. This is what it's all about, is to achieve those higher realms and transformation. If you weren't doing that cord cutting, you would not get that connection to the higher realms. It just wouldn't do it. You're bringing, they'll know that you're bringing something in this world up there that doesn't belong up there. So they'll be like, no, your name's not down, Sarah. You ain't coming in, sweetheart. So they need, you need to do that cord cutting. So well done. Thank you so much for doing that. So I followed your voice and put amethyst in the corners of my bed, but I still didn't make any connection to the quartz. But it is my problem with sleeping. That is it. Bless you, Leslie. It is that we need to just persevere, and we just need to keep going at it. It's not a problem, and even if it is, there is a solution. Absolutely, there is a solution, and perseverance with it, Leslie. Just keep on it. Keep on it. And clear quartz, even though it's a clear crystal, people can have problems with it, and it might just be that it's not your jive to sleep with. You might find this week working with a grounding stone, you might go, yes, this was my cup of tea. This was my dammy jodger. So, you know, different courses for different horses. So find, you know, don't be put off. Keep working through this week and see what you've got through and see how you get there. We will get there. People have just got different stages. Some people can slip into it. Some people will take a bit longer, but persevere. And I'm here with you, sweetheart. Okay. I'm going to see you to the end. Absolutely. Hey, Anne, I connected to Shiva. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Was taken to a forest and a stream at the edge of the forest. I was walking barefoot in the water and came across a frog, which I picked up. Dogs barked and lost that connection. Oh, but again, frog is that transformation, metamorphosis, advancing. Started off as spawn, tadpole, froglet, frog. So transformation. And yeah, I've got frog in the heart chakra. But also Shiva is that transformation of the eagle sitting in the nest to being able to fly. So brilliant, lovely connection. I can so interlink that. That's like one of mine. I can so take that. So thank you so much, Anne. Brilliant. Lucy, I have chosen my lovely tiger's eye one that I got from you. Name dropping again. As I held it, I could feel a heartbeat from it, which then spread to the rest of my body. Very comforting and reassuring. I saw an eagle again, but this time it was a brown bird with dark eyes. Okay. Very interesting. So it was an eagle, but it wasn't a golden eagle. So, but it was another. And tiger's eyes very can be very protective, but it's very good for allowing us to see clearly, especially if we're being thrown mud. If people have been thrown mud and trying to block our vision, tiger's eyes really allowing us to see through that. There's no blindfolds on for us. So with the eyes, with the eagle, I can link in with that, sweetheart. So thank you so much. So absolutely brilliant. I'm so glad that you've caught the gist of this week's crystal connections. So tomorrow again, and for those of you who haven't, we've still got today. It's just gone 5 o'clock. There is no reason why we can't just find a quiet time tonight and just sit with that stone. You know, a couple of minutes, 5 minutes would be brilliant. 10 minutes, you're going on a journey. After that, you're going on a snorer. So yeah, just find a couple of minutes and just do that. I know we do have dogs. We have cats, 5 cats. So for us to connect, now's the kind of time, because they're chilled out, they're zonked, they found their rooms. So it's a nice time now to just sit with. It is horrible when you're connecting and then something in the physical world brings us back with a bump. There's nothing worse than that happening, but you got it. You're getting there. So well done to you all. So tomorrow we're just going to connect again. Same type of crystal. So if you did tiger's eye, have tiger's eye again. If you had Shiva, do Shiva. Hi Esther, how are you, sweetheart? So same crystal, but you can, you know, you can use a tumble, you can use a sphere, you can use a wand, you can change up the shapes, but I don't want any dipping in and out. I don't want you to change it to black tourmaline and then petrified wood and then something else, because we're not building up the layer of that connection of that crystal. The whole idea of this during the week is we're layering, we're putting on a layer. And if we're picking up another crystal to bring in, we're going to put that work to one side and we're going to be layering on that crystal instead. So, but that is brilliant. And Esther has joined us, lovely Esther Richardson from Moon Kestrel. She is going to be our special guest on Wednesday. Now, we have had a little chat yesterday, so hopefully on Wednesday, it won't be as long as what the Birds of Prey was on Saturday, but we can't promise that. It is nice to have a chat beforehand so we can catch up, get rid of everything, and then put the intention of what the evening is going to be about. But Esther's going to be on. She's going to be talking about the lovely yantra boards that she does. She's going to be talking about the different types of wood, which people were asking about at the Beltane altar that we did on Friday. Some of you were saying about the wood and the different properties. So Esther will be talking about that. Then she'll dip into a bit of oracle and then drumming. So start thinking about your questions, start thinking about stuff, because as well as I'm asking questions, it's really nice for you guys to participate and to ask some questions as well. Yes, Esther's kept the evening free. I've kept the evening free. But like I said, 12 o'clock is cut-off time for me. Midnight is pumpkin time. I can't do this being a pumpkin. So we will, midnight will be the last bit, but we'll be fine. We'll be good. We've got a flow. It will flow really nice. And if you're asking all the questions, then it goes to shows that you're here to be interested, and it's interesting you. You're engaging and you're doing that. So, yeah, the more you participate, the more that I'm going to feed from that. So that'll be brilliant. And then, so that will lead us to tonight, which I thought, because I don't think I opened it up to you guys. I think I took this topic by the reins myself. So we're talking about the quartz formations, which I thought would be nice, being so we ended on the clear quartz connections last week. So now let's look into the quartz formations, and hoping this is something that you'll be interested in. There is a vast subject. I could perhaps do a whole week covering on quartzes and the different formations and everything like that. My plan is I'm bringing 8 different formations today, and then tomorrow I'll bring some more, because some more came up. It's really, really interesting, the quartz formations, what is on your quartz crystals. If you've got clear quartz, and if you've got quite a few, bring them out, have a good look at them, examining them, the markings, the makeup, the formulations of them, mind-blowing. And hopefully over today and tomorrow we will get through some easily recognizable formations to help you guys at home to identify any special types of quartz that you've got there. And then Wednesday, I'm going to talk about the crystals relating to the moons of the year. So the full moon that's coming up on Thursday is the flower moon, but we also have the wolf moon, the hunter's moon, the strawberry moon, the worm moon. So we're going to look at the moons and crystals we can bring to our attention during those full moons, which will then tie us up really nicely to Thursday, where I'll be doing another live altar to celebrate the full moon. I'm going to get the cauldron lit. That's going to be burning, and I'm going to burn your intentions. Those intentions, either the visual or the emotion or both, that we set for the new moon, we set upon them on the new moon, and we've been working with those either consciously or subconsciously. We've been working with those intentions, bringing stones in, either carrying stones or placing them on altars or by our bed that we need to draw the energy from. And then come Thursday, the full moon will be the full blossom. So we just burn that. That was yesterday. That was so old news. We don't need those intentions. So we'll just burn that. We'll burn those. Okay. And then Friday will be our first live market from before the lockdown. So that's what we've got in store for this week. So please feel free to drop in. Like I say, we're on Facebook and we're also on the YouTube channel Rox Box. So if you want to catch up, all the videos go on to Rox Box on the YouTube channel. So feel free to drop on there, subscribe, give us a like. We would appreciate that. Okay. So the quartz formations. This is one of our house crystals. So this has been in the house. Now all quartz have 6 primary properties. Okay, with their energies, they're able to structure, to store, to amplify, focus, transmit, and transform energy. And metaphysical, quartz formations possess additional properties based on their geometric shapes and the properties of numbers and other specific features. So we'll look at clusters tomorrow, but I just wanted to bring a focal point in for you guys. I mean, this one's our garden quartz. This lives 365 days out in our garden. Wouldn't you love me as a neighbour? Seeing that in a garden, you'd be like, oh, thank you very much. I'll help myself to that. So the first lot of formations we're going to look at, okay, are the celestials. Quite famous for us. Okay, this is a nice bit smoky with a bit of amethyst there. So celestials. Again, just to try and get you all to see the formation. Okay, and this one, we've got the celestial, got the celestial shape, the makeup, but then we have the skeletal or the fencer. We'll be looking at that type of formation after the celestial. So there are two different types. And I mean, this one will be, we would call that an celestial fencer, smoky amethyst. But the main one, I mean, smoky quartz, originally, you know, smoky quartz, this is what we class as a classic trigonal shape of a smoky quartz. That's a good example of how smoky quartz should. When it gets to celestial, okay, this is what it does. I love the celestials. They are so amazing. I mean, this would be a great charging plate. Be so amazing to put another crystal on this. But just look at all the different patternings. So this is, so an celestial, it's a bit like somebody's just had a couple of cans of Red Bull and then gone freestyle on an Etch-a-Sketch. So, I mean, it's forming the points at the end. We have those points. And here are a few more examples of the celestials. So the celestial quartz, it's recognized by the natural multi-terminations. Okay, We've got a bit that sticks up here. Okay. So the multi-terminations over the body or the face of an etched or layered crystal. And celestials, they contain the absolute ultimate essential wisdom and can provide for the transfer of this insight into the physical intellect via your higher self. So even though this is smoky quartz, we know that smoky quartz is a gentle, grounding but powerful crystal. This is buzzing. This is yeah, I mean, and this is why I want you guys to get these quartzes out: smokies, amethysts, clear quartz, citrines. Get them out and literally just look at them. Today I've just been in absolute awe just by looking at these crystals, playing with them, looking at what they're all about. And the celestials can assist in activating and furthering the activities of your third eye, can stimulate and increase the abilities, and especially if you are associated with clairvoyance, clairaudience, or clairsentience. So if you do readings, if you're doing cards, doing anything like that, keeping an celestial on your table or holding an celestial while you're working with it. So yeah, quite popular. They're all around there, but they're just you know, one of the reasons they are like this is when there is something harder where they're growing. So with the quartz, we know that quartz on the Mohs scale is a 7. So anything above that is going to be stopping the quartz from forming an celestial in the proper trigonal shape. And so then it will form by filling out the spaces and the gaps that they can. So if it's a ruby, if it's a diamond, topaz, those crystals are higher on the Mohs scale than the quartz. So they will dampen that spirit. Or there might just, you know, there might just be no need for them. They might just be having a day off and going, oh, you know what? I'm going to let myself go a bit and just form as a celestial. But they're so strong. The energies are beautiful. Oh, I could imagine this under my pillow. Absolutely, Esther. I can imagine standing on it. I want, you know, this is it's a plate. It needs something else on it to really give it some welling. I love it. So again, just show you these ones. And if you've got a torch on your phone, I won't do it here because my brain can't activate this whole reverse thing. I tried it earlier before we went live, and my camera was over here and the crystal was over here, and I just can't get it. But if you've got a torch on your phone, shine it through, put the crystal on the torch and just look inside it. Quartzes are just amazing for keeping things inside and attracting things. It's amazing what you think is clear quartz or just amethyst. By just giving it a proper look over, you can really sense a lot more and discover a lot more. And this is all about connections as well. People who are struggling with connected, not just spiritually, but connect physically, mentally. Proper look at that crystal. Don't just close your eyes and think that Scooby-Doo's going to come in and give you a message. take time and examine. It might be that that quartz wants to be looked at, wants to have a wolf whistle, wants to feel loved visually rather than just spiritually. So then after that, I will keep this one up again just to see if you guys can see inside. So this is a fencer or a skeletal, and fencer is, I think, German for window. So one of my faves, and this is not really much to do with minerals getting involved. Here's a little piece here. So this is more to do with the outside growing faster than the inside, and that's where they got their name, because the outside just looks like a frame, a window frame, and then you're looking inside that crystal. So you've got the nice frame there. So I suppose really this is a bit like cooking. If we're in the kitchen, if the oven's too hot and we point something in, the outside is going to be done quicker than the inside of the pie, what have you. So it's a little bit the same. I don't think heat will have anything to play with this, because I think the heat will be quite equally dispersed. So I just think it just might be the growth spurts. Some particles, some molecules will grow faster than others. And again, there is some more examples next to me of the fencer, the skeletal quartz. So these allow for deeper visions. If you look at these windows into the soul of the crystal, so I get people to connect to the keeper, the spirit of the crystals, and with fencers, it'd be quite nice because you can look inside, or if you can visualize, I like to blow up the crystal, make it huge, so then that window becomes an entrance, and then I can walk into that and go in deeper into the crystal and get a deeper connection to that energy. Any shamans, mystics, again, the clairvoyance. Yeah, people who have utilized the properties for journeying. It possesses the properties of the celestial. They are similar, but there's such a different construct. You know, these don't really have the skeletals. They have the cracks. They're like a dried riverbed. They've got different makeup, whereas the fencer, the skeletals have more depth to them. They're layered. But again, it's a nice gateway. It's a nice way to journey, to go in deeper, to connect. Beautiful, beautiful. Love him, love him. And then the next, okay. One of my mind blowns, these are. So then we're looking at phantoms. So a phantom quartz. So we can see the quartz here. We can see how it's formed. But by looking inside, you can pick out the outline of an inner. This is what we call a phantom. Can we see that? I'll try with, I've got green chlorite here. I don't know if that would pick it up. So this is green chlorite. So you can just see the green tip ends before the actual quartz. So there's the diagram of it. So we've got a peak inside. And it's caused by a pause in the crystal growth. So it's had a holiday. It's had a little bit of a break. It's not ready to let itself go to become celestial. It's just had a pause. So either leaving a partial or a complete phantom. You can see in the diagram, perfect example of an amethyst phantom. So you've got the purple there that's peaked, and then the quartz is carried on growing. And the pause in growth, I mean, I'll say a holiday, it can be thousands of years before it restarts again. So really, really blows my mind. Really just, whoa, okay. So it can just stop and then re-go again in 1,000 years. So normally we have a white veil, which we call a white phantom. But then sometimes it could be coloured like the green chlorite. And it takes on, the phantom takes on the same energy as butterflies. Different to frogs. We were talking about frogs earlier being metamorphosed, going from the tadpole, the froglet, to the frog. But the butterfly, if you think about it, is the caterpillar. Then it goes into the chrysalis, and that's its break. Even though inside there is lots going on, transformations, but to the outside world, it's stopped. It's that stopped growing, and then becomes the butterfly. So same sort of principle with the phantom. So these help us to see the before and the after and the struggles in between. And especially why we're evolving, why we're going on the spiritual journey, why we're going on a spiritual quest, or just living. It's really easy sometimes for us to give up, but phantoms will show us the starting point, where we want to go, and those struggles in between, or take us back to another time where we didn't have to gain anything so easily. There has been those in struggles. So just realizing that, you know, if we want something in life, we need to prepare to just work at it. And if it means sometimes down in the tools, so many people have a spiritual break. So many people, that's quite a nice view. You can really see that peak. Really see the peaking of that phantom. A valuable stone for the spiritual seeker. clearly showing how the inner is the foundation of the outer. So what is being shown on the inside represents what's on the outside. Yeah, very true in human forms. So many of us like to have that mask of, yes, I am so nice, but inside we're like Ursula the Sea Witch. So yeah, it's all about working in and then coming out, not starting out working in. We need to be what we are inside to what we are on the outside with the phantoms. So this is the chlorite. So hopefully you can see the green of it. So these can be used to provide and to gain access into the angelic realms. Can bring in lucid, distinct visuals. So we're combining the energy there of the quartz and the chlorite. And the chlorite will obviously be amplified by the quartz's energy. So we have the phantoms. And then after the phantoms, you had phantom. You had a phantom quartz last week. Oh, bless you, Joe. Thank you, darling. So this is Candle Quartz. So much so because we normally get them quite stubby, so a bit like a burnt out candle, and then the little tiny, if you can see all those little tiny quartz points, is like the dripped candle. And some of these will be coming back next week. We'll be coming back tomorrow because like I've noticed that this has got 2 points. So this is a twin. So we'll look at those tomorrow. But instead of candle quartz, I think that's epido that has formed on it. So candle quartz. And there's some larger examples for that. So if you've got at home a crystal that has got lots and lots of little points, then we're looking at a candle quartz. And this one I just realized before going on live, if I turn it that way, you can see the perfect hexagonal shape, the trigonal, but obviously it forms in the hexagon. So that is a perfect example of a generator. Equal distributions. So it's raw, it's completely unpolished, but it's formed, and which we call a generator, and we'll look at those tomorrow. I don't want to overload too much information on you all because it is a lot to take in. But these are great for the chakras. So these can also cross over to the multi-dimensionals of the celestials. Of course, we're working with so many other tiny quartzes there. they also play a key. So it can be nice for abundance. Nice one to meditate. Nice one to retrieve information. If you think of every single one of those little tips, it's sending out a little hook. If we meditate with Candle Quartz, any symbols, any meanings or messages while we're going through that meditation, while we're journeying, traveling, will link in to one of these. So then when we get back, we can work then on each little symbol, each little meaning. So abundance, meditation, but also that's the spike, especially this one. These do still have the little, those little points. Okay. But also they can also be a protection. So if we just need to shield ourselves, if we just need to focus on us with the Phantom, take a break, bring in Candle Quartz, those little spikes can just stop any unwanted energies from coming in. So a little bit of a two-way street for the meditation. Although we are gathering, we're picking things up with those little spikes, points. We can also leave any energies that we don't wish to bring in outside. So comb, a nice little comb, combing away any of those energies. Okay, now if Esther is still here, she might just need to have a sit down. Well, hopefully, I hope she's sitting down, because then we will look at Faden or Faden quartz. I particularly like this piece because it's quite tabular. It's got a nice shape to it. There's plenty of barnacles. See those little quartzes there? They're barnacles. We'll look at those a little bit more tomorrow. But the shaping of it is quite tabular, quite what we call a tabby. But inside there is, if you look on this side, Faden, self-healed crystal. So that white line going down indicates that while this is formulating, it suffered a break. But because it was still growing, it fixed itself. Really, Amanda? Sorry, I've just looked at Amanda there. Going back to the Candle Quartz. So it almost like every single little point really pulled to draw that migraine out. And the aftermath was we've served the justice and broke away. Wowzers. So yeah, Faden, another German word. So I say Faden, but I think it is Faden. So Fadens provide a continuous alignment of the physical meridians and your nervous system. An alignment for the physical, the emotional, mental, spiritual, those bodies, singularly and with another. I like this one. You can really make it out where that break is, where the white looks almost like a tornado. So it does facilitate the mending on all our levels. Yeah, the quartz has finished growing now, but it's teaching us that we have not finished growing. So it's okay to take a break every now and again. If we're broken, we can just fix. We can just fix ourselves up and carry on growing, carry on learning. So it's quite, as you can see on those pictures, it's quite usual for them to form in the tabular shapes, in tabbies. And this flat tablet-y shape is where they like to form. Again, psychic development, communications. And then you've got the combination of the tabby quartz, which we'll look at a bit more tomorrow, with the Faden, which is great to. It's extremely useful for those with a desire to increase their perception and intuition. Absolutely, Sarah. Absolutely. It's the way to look at it, is, you know, yeah. Crystals have that power to mend while they're growing, and so do we. We have that power as well. And then after the Faden, we shall look at bridge, a bridge quartz. And not to get this confused with a manifestation quartz. As you can see, this is a double terminated, which we'll look at tomorrow, because I just want to keep things, I don't want to overload on everything. So 2 natural points, but then we've got a bridge. Now this crystal has grown from the inside out, but it's too, there's an inclusion in there. It's too dark to actually see if that's a double terminated. If that's a double terminated, then you're looking at a manifestation quartz, but I don't think it is. So this would be a bridge quartz, which is a smaller crystal, which is part in and part out. This one here, I'm hoping you can see, because this is quite clear, but again, it's not formed in the double terminated, which I think what we see here is what's happened there, if we can. So you can see the point there, but then it's that clear that you can see how it's gone. And again, it's like a little tornado approach, how it's funneled, gone from the bottom and working up to the top. So again, the bridge if we look at this with our cells, it's a bit like bridging the outer with the inner, bridging between the physical and the spiritual, bridging between friends. So there we've got some examples of the bridge, how it forms in different structures, different crystals. But I love this one. I love that it's clear and you can see that funnel down the bottom, just going all the way through from the top down to the bottom. And the properties are very useful healing stone. Just helping us to pass over what was before impossible to pass. So if we're somebody who's dealing with obstacles, if we are dealing with those struggles, working with a bridge will help us to form that bridge into a better stepping stones, helping us to gain access to what we're trying to get towards. A nice one for shamanic people, the shamans, if they, for journeying, for meditation. Sometimes, this could be represented as being an outsider, and we could be judging somebody for something, but we need to look in. We need to look in on that environment. We need to look in on that situation. Don't just look at something on the outside and think, don't judge a book by its cover. Would be a perfect thing. If we're here and we're already got a perception of what's going on, no. We need to go in. So not always going out, but sometimes we might need to go in and look at how that works and find out the solution there by doing that bit of work, working on ourselves inside, a bit like the other quartzes that we mentioned, about working inside out. If we're just working on the outside, if we're just working on the exterior and we're thinking, God, why have we not sorted out this problem? It's because we perhaps need to go inside, especially there's intolerances, allergies, digestive problems. So the bridge, another nice one, absolutely amazing. And that brings us on to our final two, which are included quartzes. One I absolutely love, but I love it so much more because of the discovery. And this is Angel Phantom Quartz. It is for sale, but I don't want people to think that I'm here trying to sell things. It's more of a showpiece. So Angel Phantom Quartz. Absolutely beautiful. So it's so called because just here in this corner here, you can see those wisps. And down here again, you can see those. So again, we've got that phantom. We've got where something is forming. And a bit like the chlorite, this is what's happened. So we could have limonite in there with the yellow, hematite with the red, could be some lithium. But it is just a really amazing to see how minerals can really go inside a quartz. And there's some other examples for you guys to look at. So it's an excellent crystal to use with the third eye, the crown. As we might expect, it's to gain that stronger connection to the angelic realm. But it's also we can communicate with our own personal angels, our guardians, our guides. Protective. It is high vibration. I mean, just looking into this, there's so much to see, so much to look into. It is beautiful. Love it. Increases our awareness to the spiritual realm, past life recall, lucid dreaming, brings an intense of joy, beauty. But one thing I was so happy, again, what I discovered today, because I love Dow points, DOW, Dow points. And I have been looking at the crystals, looking at all the quartzes, counting the sides, counting them all up. Didn't discover one. So getting everything ready, and I thought, actually, I want to bring some Angel Phantom into it. And we've had this piece for quite a while. And then I realized, I looked at it and I thought, hold on. So I counted this face, and that had 7 sides. I then counted this face. That had 7 sides. I then counted this face. That had 7 sides. So this is 3 faces with 7 sides, accompanied by 3, 1, 2, 3. So if you've got 3 faces of 7 sides, and then 3 triangles, you've got yourself a Dow point. So all this time I've been trying to find one, and I had one all the time on our stock shelf. Just goes to show that if you look hard enough, you'll find it. It got manifested. Yeah, I'm with you, Joe. I love, I don't know what it is. It's just that it just makes sense to me when you've got a 737373 and you find out it's a Dow, you realize, oh, you know, I mean, there's different formulations, there's different other things to go with the faces and grounding, channelers and all that sort. But yeah, I'm really drawn to the Dow. So I'm really, well, I'm not happy because this is obviously a stock piece. So if it was ours, I'd be over the moon. But I'll be looking after. So it's a remarkably rare healing stone. And the properties of which effectively combine the archetypes of 3 and 7 perfectly and harmoniously. So really, these are for the people. Oh no, absolutely not, Joe. If I could afford this, it would be my personal healing stone for me only. I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't be sharing this around for people to hold. Not at all. It's a one of a kind, and this is where some people, by examining these formations and looking at this, can reflect on a price of a quartz crystal dramatically. So when you have one that could be, you know, for an example, you could have two crystals, this one, that one. This is a bridge, so perhaps be about 20 quid. This could be a dowel, and even though it's smaller, but it could be worth 30, 40. So when we are looking at quartzes and we are seeing that there's a big high price, look a little bit further. Ask the store seller what's it all about, because sometimes we can't fit what that crystal is on a little price sticker. So find out what that is. It might be an Isis, it might be a dowel, it could be anything. And all this contributes to the properties of that quartz. So if you're into numerology or sacred geometry, 737373, I'm not that. Oh, very, yes. Ah, brilliant. So, but looking into the numbers, we can receive a few bits of insight into the understanding and the potency of the geometry. Okay, so in music, there are 7 notes, span 3 octaves. There are 7 chakras, and the white light of a quartz is split into 7 main colors. There are many trinities, trinity being the 3. So the 3 primary colors: red, blue, yellow, if I can remember from my GCSEs. Man upstairs will know, he's got a degree in fine art. But really look into it. The triangles won't be the same size. So we've got the faces, and then we've got the triangles. So sometimes they can be quite big, sometimes they can be quite small. But just have a look at the points, have a look. So it's a crossover between a transmitter and a channeler. And channelers we'll look at tomorrow as well. We'll go into those. Okay. So I'm going to put that down because I won't be able to carry on with the rest. And then the last ones we're going to be looking at is lodolite or garden quartz. Oh gosh. Shaman quartz. So this is the name given to a quartz that has got, again, a bunch of minerals grown into it, quite similar to the angel phantom, but these tend to be more flat. give us an interpretation of a garden, something you'd find on another planet, another world. So once they've been polished, the quartz, and given that magnifying lens to it, by looking inside, it just looks like we've got our own little forest, our own little garden. And that's just the minerals that have gone in there. Might be chlorite again. So it just offers that window into another world. It can facilitate the cosmic shift of consciousness. And obviously with its name being, one of the names being Shamanic or Shaman Quartz, very good for journeying, very good for traveling, out of body. The quartz is quite high, but then we have the other minerals inside, which can bring it down a bit. So we can be quite grounded with those minerals. Oh, Joe, that's lovely. I'm sure, yeah, I'm sure the single terminated. Absolutely. I'm sure that helped you through that. Must. Proper looking over. Yeah, provides protection through exploring. Nice one to release fear, stress, tensions. This is the only stone. These two are my husband's personal crystals. It's the only crystal he will hold that will just make him buzz. Just makes all of his hair stand on end and just go all pins and needles. So we don't hold much of this in stock because he snatches it up quite quickly. It's one of his faves, bless him. So yeah, so just a few examples of lodolite, garden quartz, shaman quartz. It's all mine. It is all his. Yes. But it can stimulate healing of any disease. Its function is to harmonize the higher vibrational energies, especially around the aura working around the aura. But any deep emotional issues, it's really good for. Okay, so any questions at all? Okay, just a little bit there of the formations. Different again, there is so many, and there are some that we just don't have an example to show you on. So we won't be covering them all. Yes, it's good for helping plants. Yeah, green fingered, helping you to become more into nature. But definitely want to be like looking at other worlds, looking at other realms, looking into other ways of living, being. So really nice if we've got some stiff, stagnant energy. Working with garden quartz will allow that to shift, will allow us to focus on the way things other people are doing, giving us a little bit of inspiration, a little bit of focus, helping us to shift those. So if there's any questions at all, please feel free to ask them, and I will answer them as much as I can. While anyone is typing any questions, I will just recap again that tomorrow we will be delving back again into the quartzes, bringing the channelers. There is a nice little rutile quartz that I might want to bring for show and tell. Twins. My mind's gone blank. But there are some others. But I don't want to overload you so much. So just take what you can, what resonates with you for this, and leave behind what you think, what? Because it can be quite intense. It can be quite a lot to focus on and to retain. Unless we're all sitting there holding quartz, in which case, hopefully, it's transmuting what I've been saying and transmitting it into your thoughts. So that will be tomorrow, and then Wednesday we've got the lovely moon, and we'll be talking to Moon Kestrel about the yantra boards, about the oracle deck, and about. I just realised at the beginning of this I was saying that we're going to go into the moons ready for the full moon, and we're not, because we've got moon coming on Wednesday. So we'll be talking to her. So again, get your questions ready for any questions for the yantra boards, any questions for oracle. She loves doing oracle readings. Any questions on the types of wood and the properties of the different varieties of wood. She will be bringing some of that knowledge to the live chat, as well as drumming. So that'll be 5 o'clock on Wednesday. Then Thursday, we're going to go back into our live altar. We're doing the full moon. We're stoking up the cauldron, burning our intentions for that full moon energy to bless them and take them away. Whatever we've been worrying about, let them go. Okay. So, but again, any other problems, any questions, queries, anything that you're struggling with the connections, my messenger is open. And I do extend that even if we're having a day off. So yesterday when I said we're not going to be doing a live feed, that's down to being in front of a laptop. But please still message me if you need anything. That doesn't go as far as messages. I will still do that, because even if I'm on a day off, I'm still talking to crystals, and I'll still love to talk about crystals. So don't think you can't interrupt me. You don't interrupt me at all. But thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm trying to keep my goodbye short and sweet, because him upstairs has the control of switching me off, and he keeps saying that my goodbyes are longer than the actual conversation. So, but thank you all for joining. I hope you took some of that away and some of that was useful. And if you'd like to learn a couple of more formations of quartz, please join me here tomorrow live at 5, and we'll look at a few more of those. Okay. But for me, enjoy your evening. Have an absolute blessed evening, and have fun. Stay safe.